So the biggest problem and the #1 secret to being shifty on the court, having that killer crossover, is moving your feet, which enough people don't do. Today, we're gonna go over all of that. Welcome to Prime Athletics, Coach Lovett here. So, like we said earlier, the #1 secret to developing a killer crossover, what is it? It's all about the footwork. So when you're out on the court, it's all about dancing. If you watch today's basketball game compared to like the 90s and the 80s and stuff, the crossover is the #1 thing that's different now. Guys are more explosive, better at crossing over, better at throwing their defender off. Why? It's because they know how to move their feet. We're gonna get into all this today, as always. Apply pressure. Before we get into the skill of it and how to break it down, I'm showing you exactly what I'm talking about. So I have Chad here with me, gonna be playing mock defense. So Chad is in a defensive stance. So what you wanna do is you wanna learn how to get into what's called, I call it a flow dribble or a drift dribble. And it just, you put names and stuff because it helps people remember. So my objective is, when I dribble the ball, if I'm just right here and cross over right there, Chad goes nowhere. Like I can handle the ball, but he goes nowhere. I'm shifting my body weight, but that's not enough. I literally have to move my feet. So now when I'm on offense with Chad, if I'm crossing over, I got to be able to cross over and get some space because he's sliding with me. So if he's up playing me, I'm literally moving. So all I'm doing is dancing with the ball. So I'm out here dancing. Anytime I'm between the legs, I'm dancing. Between the legs, behind the back, I'm dancing. And see, at a certain point in time, my footwork starts setting him up. So what I mean by that, so if Chad is moving, I know I can shoot the ball. So boom, I could go right here and then I can go into my jump shot. If Chad doesn't bite on the jump shot, I could go by him and go straight to the rack. Or, I could set him up and I could get some contact. Boom, I could get just enough space to get that contact and get to the hoop. So while you're drifting, you could do kind of a couple things. Sorry about that. So you want to be able to have good footwork. So now we're going to break it down how to get those drills that incorporate getting your feet moving. So what you want to work on, having a wide base. Like when you're out there dribbling, if you see any of the ball handlers, Kyrie, Steph Curry, James Harden, they all have wide bases. They're all wide base. Dame Lillard, all of them. CJ McCollum, all have wide bases. Having a wide base gives you more leverage. One, it kind of gets you a little bit lower. So when you cross over, that ball is right there for you, as opposed to standing up and having to bend a little bit more. You're already down here. And then it keeps you in that position. So another thing about the wide base, with a wide base, you get more movement. So I can move further than me standing up. If I'm standing up, I got to be at a kind of an awkward angle as opposed to being down here. Now I'm right here protecting the ball. My leg is like kind of blocking and shielding my defender off. So being low has its advantages. Not every ball handler does it. You have your Jamal Crawfords who are amazing at ball handling, so they don't have to worry about it. But for the most part, all your ball handlers get low and get into an attacking position, kind of like a cat. First move we're gonna work on is our drift crossover. So we're just right here, drifting. Notice how my feet move. I'm just drifting, getting ready. Sizing it up. So for this one, for a beginner, where somebody's not used to, if you're not used to moving your feet, like this is not even necessarily about the ball handling portion of it, because you already probably know how to dribble, but now this is just getting your feet incorporated in your dribble. So the three most basic ones: crossover, between the legs, behind the back. So right here, drifting, you want to get about 50 reps, 100 if you can. So back and forth is one. So find the middle point, and then I'm going to the right and then back. That's one. Left, and then back right. That's two. Right, then back to the middle. And that's three. So like going back and forth is one. And you want to do that 50 to 100 times. And then, like I said, you want to now get to that point You want to practice the between the legs. So you want to go crossover, between the legs, behind the back. So you want to between the legs and then back to the middle. That's one. Between the legs and back to the middle. That's two. Between the legs, back to the middle. That's three. You want to do that 50 to 100 times. And then the last one, behind the back. So you want behind the back and behind the back to the middle. That's one. Behind the back to the right, behind the back to the middle. That's two. Behind the back, behind the back. That's three. If you notice, just look at the footwork portion. No matter what, my footwork stays the same on all three of these. All three of these setup moves are the most basic ones and that help you get into a move. So when I'm dribbling, that footwork, I'm just drifting. It's not a carry, it's not a travel because I still have the ball alive. The ball is right here, floating. Right here, floating. Hand still on top of the ball, I'm just floating with it. It's still in a chain dribble. Chain dribble, all that means is I still have my dribble. I'm just pausing with it. It's almost like a pound dribble or a probe dribble. So the footwork, if you want to just get used to the footwork portion, it's just here, here, and then just slowly add that dribble in there. Slowly add that dribble. And then control the ball. So now, if you're fortunate to have Chad at home training you and working with you, now you're gonna have, you can even get mom, dad, grandma, grandpa, brother, sister, neighbor, whoever. So now you have them play mock defense. So they're playing mock defense and they're just moving with you. So now you're just going boom to the side, boom to the side, boom to the side, and just drifting, practicing the drift. Between the legs, good, between the legs, good. Behind the back, behind the back. Notice how my feet are staying outside his feet. And at any moment, the more you add moves to it, so now if I start drifting to the side, but I pull up and shoot the ball, that was a brick, hopefully it's a make. But if you start adding that to your arsenal, being able to shoot off that move, now people are gonna start reacting to that. So now, when I move, Chad knows I can shoot the ball. That quick second that I just gained on him from having to react to my jump shot just gave me time to drive. And that's what it's all about. Being shifty doesn't mean that you're gonna necessarily, boom, make your opponent fall. It just gives you a second for them to react the wrong way. So that way it gives you time to get into your jump shot, get to the hole, or create an open for a teammate. So the three things that you could do out of it. So don't expect the highlight all the time. Now, you get an over-aggressive defender that's reachy, that's when it really comes into play. Because now they have to move their feet so much and they might not be used to it. So Chad, back in there, boom, you're going. I'm stepping, selling the move and going. That's what all of this is about. A lot of people can handle the ball, but when you can really dribble and keep those feet moving, the whole time my feet are moving. That's a big key. So that the drills, the three drills, the basics that I just showed you right there are your basic setup moves to get you into a move to get your shot off. So with the game of basketball evolving, I hope that you could really take this and put it into your game. Like, this is a huge component of the game, and this will not only help you on the court, but it'll help your confidence. If you know that, like, your defender can't stay in front of you, I mean, how confident are you gonna be to get out there and actually make some of the moves that you work on when you're at home in the driveway or working with a trainer? So this is very important. Keep the feet moving. And if you have any questions, never shy away from asking us. You can always DM us on Instagram, or you could always comment below. We try to get back to you as soon as possible. So thank you for being here today. Hope we taught you a lot how to salsa dance a little bit with the ball. As always, apply pressure.